When Charles and I went to Miami last year, I was so excited.
Yeah, we did.
To show him the beach water.
And then it rained. Sure did.
Because I'd been talking to him for a year about how when I went to Miami with the girls,
it was your friends,
and the water was so warm. Because I grew up, in California.
Mm-hmm.
The water is cold as shit. Okay, the Pacific Ocean is cold. So I get to Miami, the water's warm. So I'm talking to my husband, and I'm like, the water's so warm. It's like bath water. You're never gonna want to get out. It rains the first
bath
day.
Water several times. It rains within an hour. We get set up. It then rains immediately after.
It rains, and the water is not warm.
No.
Next day, sun is blazing. Okay, not a cloud in the sky.
Yep.
And the water is warm
again. The glizzy
again.
salesmen are out.
Yeah, my husband wouldn't let me buy a beach glizzy.
The vape salesmen are out.
I wanted to buy a beach glizzy so bad.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't let me.
He would beach glizzy. We're just in the water doing what? Jellyfishing. Just vibing. Floating.
When you get into the water, it's so warm and it's so nice, and the waves are not crazy.
Right. It's a little wave, a little movement.
Nothing crazy. Yeah, you just sit there.
Just go with the flow, man.
You're jellyfishing, and we kept ending up so far away from our belongings.
Who cares? Float away.
We're on vacation.
That's what jellyfish do.
We're jellyfishing.
We don't have material objects like phones and room keys over there. Now 70 yards where we floated.
So far. What up, Hope Biscuits? It's your girl Skitten back at it again. This is a ZeFrank video. True facts, how jellyfish hunt.
I think jellyfish hunt is the same way hot girls get guys at bars.
Existing?
Put their tendrils out. And when you come in, you get paralyzed. Then they slowly feed on their corpse.
Funny because you're making a joke, but I think you're right. I think that's how jellyfish hunt. Anyway, anytime I see the term jellyfish, that's just what I think of. Is just me and my husband in Miami just jellyfishing. So I saw this video and I was like, this is mine, because I have a positive connotation with the animal. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are staying safe and sanitized. Without further ado,
I mostly feel the same.
Let's go ahead and get started.
All right.
This episode is sponsored by Imprint. When the life of a jellyfish begins, it's not long before the sea monkeys start getting nervous. Fertilized egg, a few rounds of cell division, and they can already start moving around.
Yeah.
Find a nice spot to settle and grow into a gelatinous tree with arms that seem to be flipping the world off in every direction. And they can get away with that too, because they're armed. Get it? Because at just a couple weeks old, the polyps of...
You just made that joke.
I'm armed. With arms? With arms.
Two arms.
2 arms even. Better pull out a second knife.
2
arms.
I made that joke on accident. That's funny.
That's a good one.
Because at just a couple weeks old, the polyps of jellyfish and other members of the cnidarian gang, like anemones and coral, have the ability to sting. Now, if you had sea monkeys growing up, this might be a tough episode for you.
Damn.
If you look a little closer at those tentacles, you can see they can fire off what sometimes looks like weaponized pubic hair. These structures, nematocysts, aren't really designed to just shoot off willy-nilly into the water like this. Normally, they go off on contact.
Okay.
They have these little trigger hairs that, if touched, cause water to rush into the cell. And this creates an incredible amount of pressure. 150 atmospheres or over 2,000
What
psi.
does that mean?
Phew. Now, see all that stuff that's curled up inside?
Yeah.
Well, it's like an innie belly button on steroids. All that pressure forces this inverted tube to rapidly turn itself right side out.
That's crazy.
It's like if you threw up so hard your esophagus came out.
I'm sorry. We are listening, and we're not distracted. I promise you. But it's like you did what? The esophagus comes out?
Frog.
It's the frog cleaning its stomach.
Itself right side out.
What
It's
a
like if you
vision.
through up so hard your esophagus came out.
That's a thought.
This first bit here is designed to pierce whatever touched it. And that allows the skinny part of the tube to unfurl inside the victim. And the whole thing
and
has
hook
barbs
it.
all over it,
Right.
and there's
Yeah.
venom on it.
Yeah.
It's like the devil's dental floss.
Right.
In any case, it makes these polyps great at catching sea monkeys and digesting what they can and discarding their carcasses like peanut shells on the floor of a ground round.
Damn.
Rest in peace. Delicious. Mwah. But listen, it's got to eat, because this jellyfish baby is actually a jellyfish babies. It goes through a transformation and it
Really?
becomes a sort of ribbed for pleasure version of itself.
Damn.
That's
What's actually
disgusting.
going on here is that it's creating a clone army, a stack of genetically identical
Get
jellyfish
outta
saucer
here.
babies. And one by one, those get sent off into the world.
Is that what that is? That's a stack of multiple jellyfish?
That's cool.
What an insane part of evolution. That's nutty.
And those get sent off into the world.
Wow.
Oh, look at that. It looks like the stack is waving goodbye to itself.
Yeah.
Now, these look like cute little snowflakes ringed with, well, sort of looks like camel toes. I mean, I don't mean, well, anyway, they're cute.
All
and
right.
you can start to see the jellyfish in them. Tentacles start to sprout along the outside, and the bell shape of their body starts to form.
There they go.
Gently pulsating, as if it were the fringe of a skirt on a ballerina.
Yeah.
Of death. Look at this little toddler, for example. The red one. Adorable, right? No, he's a biter. Every kindergarten has one. You'll see. That tube hanging down in the middle there is its mouth/anus, or anus/mouth.
Right.
Either way, it's a classic chicken and the egg sort of thing, except
there you go.
a mouth and
There he goes.
There you go. I knew
poor
it.
little Timmy there's not going to be
I
on the
knew
bus for
it.
drop-off, I'll tell you that much.
So he could be eating himself, or those two different jellyfish? And also, these big groups of jellyfish, are that the group of jellyfish? It's not jellyfishes, it's just jellyfish?
I think it's just jellyfish.
It's 1,000 jellyfishes, sisses, but that's all just one jellyfish.
No, they're all different jellyfish.
It comes out of a stack of itself,
Yeah.
but it's still individual jellyfish?
Yes.
Impossible. That's the same. He just multiplied himself. He made his own friends. I know you wish you could do that.
Damn.
Or not, depending on how you feel.
Damn, babe.
What?
You ain't have to do that.
I'm relating.
At this stage, they can be a little twitchy. I mean, they do have to practice their swimming. And you might think that after 500,000 or so full-bodied crunches, they'd be ripped by the time they were grown.
Right.
But no, they keep their Renaissance figure as they get their bell on and grow out those tenties. I mean, to be honest, they don't have that much muscle to work with in the first place. It's less
That's
than
so
1%
cool.
of their body mass compared to the 50% for most fish, for most fish. But in terms of the energy used to swim, fish are just efficient. Jellyfish are jelly-efficient. It's terrible.
He's on
They
a roll.
move through the interplay of two types of muscles. One type goes roundsies and the other sort goes upsy-downsies.
Thank
You can
you.
see the two types very well on this one.
so
Looks like a macrame project on an acid
Yeah, I know,
trip.
this is
When a
crazy.
jelly like this wants to move, those muscles work together to contract the bell and squirt water out the back.
Hell yeah.
Then to open back up, all they got to do is relax. And that's because its body acts like a spring that wants to return to its original shape.
I don't appreciate ZeFrank including this footage of us in Miami without our permission.
Right, that's literally what we did. You just act like a spring, but you want to contract. You understand? Little motion, little flotion. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But this isn't just some flapping about. It's quite a precise movement that generates propulsion by farting out water donuts.
That's
The
right.
science hippies call them vortex rings. How lame is that? So these are rings of swirling water. And the way they swirl causes water to shoot down through the center.
Right.
And if you see any water moving down, you know there's an equal force pushing
Moving
up on
up,
the jelly.
yeah.
It's like looking at complicated footprints. Now, to create the best swirlies, they need their bodies to be just the right stiffness. Not so stiff that it's hard to squeeze, but stiff enough so that it retakes its shape quickly, but not too quickly. Think Goldilocks, but with a stiffy. Or don't. To turn, they can do a little flippy wave thing around the edge of their bell.
Oh, they turn on
You can see it
purpose.
changes the water flow and causes them to rotate.
I thought they turned on accident. I'm not even kidding.
No, really.
I
though.
thought they did-
I thought they just floated around aimlessly.
Yeah, I didn't know they could turn on purpose.
But maybe the neatest part of this motion
Look at
isn't the
that.
squeezing, it's in that relaxing phase.
They
You
can do the
notice that
wave.
water rushes in as the bell expands, and this pushes the jelly forward, in a sense recapturing some of the energy it spent on flexing. But this is a 2-for-1 because that water is also bringing food right to its mouth /
Right.
anus. It's either a stream of snacks or a bidet. Win-win. And that's why you see so many jellyfish flapping around all the time. They're not lost. Oh, they're eating.
Right.
Jenny, that's a plastic bag. All right, honest mistake. You know what I get? I get jellyfish brain. This is what happens when you scroll through that mindless ocean of timelines on your phone.
I like that one.
Where were we? Oh, right. One sort of jellyfish got tired of all this swimming around. The subtle but genius innovation of the upside-down jellyfish was to turn upside down.
What?
And after that, it was
What?
off to the races. From
This
that
is real?
position, they figured out a different way of creating
It's
those water
filter
flows to
feeding.
bring particles to its mouth.
Wow.
But you probably noticed there's a whole bunch of other crap surrounding that mouth. That whole floppy cauliflower situation?
Yeah.
Those are called oral arms. It's a good title for a
like a
war-themed
shack
pornography
rug.
film, tell you what. Lots of jellyfish have them. They're not tentacles. These skinny bits here, they're the tentacles. The frilly ones are the oral arms. And while we're pointing things out, I should mention that these here are gonads. Because jellies don't give a f***. Not going to try and hide the gonads.
Okay, nice.
They're going to accessorize with them. Wear them like a brooch.
Yeah.
For everyone to see. You could learn a lot from a jellyfish. Well, not
It's like
that.
a 4-leaf
I don't recommend
clover of
that.
balls.
Last thing I need is to get a call from your mom because you stapled your gonads to that. I don't recommend that. Last thing I need is to get a call from your mom because you stapled your gonads to your lapel like it's my fault. It's bullshit. Anyway, the oral arms help capture and transfer food back to the mouth. From there, the bits go into a stomach situation and then into a network of tubes. And the tubes let all the parts get the nutrients, and then it's back out again through the anus/mouth. There are exceptions. Some have many mouths and many anuses, like they were designed by AI with an NSFW prompt.
Right.
But generally, jellies follow the classic, dare I say, timeless mouth/anus, often with oral arms paradigm. Simple enough.
love that.
Anywho, the oral arms of the upside-down jelly are special in a couple of ways. One is that they incorporate photosynthetic algae into their tissue and then eat some of the food that the algae makes from light. The other is grenades. Oral arms are often equipped with stinging cells. That's what the little white dots are.
Okay.
But the upside-down jellyfishes go beyond. They release a mucus that contains what are called caseosomes, or Satan's popcorn. These caseosomes have cilia on them and they can move on their own. But their surface is also jam-packed with those stinging nematocysts. And if a sea monkey has the gumption to rub shoulders with one, it's all over.
Shut up.
Jerry, there's a pube on the slide again. But it's not mine. Look what happens when you add a whole bunch of sea monkeys to a swimming pool full of upside-down jellyfish mucus. And at first it seems fine, but just 1 minute later it looks like... Well, it looks like the sea monkeys I kept as a child. Mommy, they're sleeping.
Dead.
And it's no wonder that some crabs wear these things as hats. I mean, it's stylish, and no one's going to mess with your head if it's covered with ouch-flavored Pop Rocks.
This is such a disrespectful clip. This is so disrespectful.
You know what my first thought was? Yankee Doodle went to town.
Sure is.
He stuck a feather in his cap, you know? He looks like a dandy.
That's nutty.
He's a dandy.
Crabs aren't the only animal known to associate with jellyfish. Juvenile jackfish, for example, will sometimes swim around with a jellyfish in its mouth.
What?
I don't really know how it avoids the sting. I asked one, and it said, I'm sorry. Anyway, as they get older, it gets awkward. It's like that man who had a relationship with a volleyball in that beach movie, Castaway. Oh, and to whoever it is that names the fish, there's that fish whose actual scientific name is Boops Boops. You should have saved that name for this one. Makes some sense for once. Anyway, there's over 100 species of fish that associate with jellyfish. I mean, come on, you swim behind one of these things for a while. Tell me you wouldn't want to take a turn inside.
Go inside.
That's what this one did.
Yeah!
Get to use them for protection and maybe have a nibble once in a while. Because for some fish, the jellies are sort of like a gingerbread house. Surrounded by a thicket of stinging nettles. I mean, it doesn't always go so well. You know, mess with your balls, you get horny. Jerry, it's mess with the bull, you get the horns. Yes, I'm sure. Anyway, you can see that at least some jellies have a taste for sushi. The box jellyfish, for example, seems to actively hunt for fish. Using vision, I know it sounds like a stretch, but many jellyfish have these structures called ropalia on the margins of their bell. The moon jelly, for example, has 8 of them, and each ropalium contains 2 simple eyes. It looks a bit, you know, let's just say it puts the eye in vagina, so to speak.
It puts eye in vagina.
Now, box jellyfish in the genus Tripedalium have 4 ropalia. Each one is on the end of a little stalk and contains 6 eyes. 4 of them
Jellyfish
are simple
eyes
things, but 2 of them are proper image-forming eyes.
Yeah.
Jellyfish eyes are such an, like, I just never considered jellyfish having eyes.
I didn't know any had eyes.
Like, I feel like it's information that we've heard before, but I just kind of, it's not information that I've kept in my brain about jellyfish.
I ejected it immediately. Is it like snapping, like, images?
Right.
Is it like heat seeking? Is it like blurs around? Or are they just looking at you 38 times like a fly as they jellyfish around?
Right.
I mean, they look like real eyes.
Yeah.
Each one of these little eye clusters has a crystal in it. And this crystal acts like a weight, so no matter what direction the jelly is turned, one eye is facing up. And that's because they live in these water channels that go through mangroves. And they seem to be able to navigate to better hunting grounds by looking up at the canopy where it can detect changes in the lighting. It's sort of like if Street View looked like this. Now, the box jellyfish is called a box jellyfish because it vaguely resembles a box. And that's great. Call them what they look like. But be consistent. Like this one's not called a bag of dicks, jellyfish. Should
God
be.
damn it.
You call this one shrinkage and be done with it. But don't let the looks fool you. Here's a skeleton shrimp about to make that mistake. It's a real killer, this Lucernaria quadricornis.
Oh, God.
Like a zombie dildo with pom-poms of death.
Oh, it's over.
Zombie dildo with pom-poms of death. And this is the educational content I'm subjecting you to.
Okay.
Quadricornis. More like zombie dildo with pom-poms of death.
All right.
Or what the Hogwarts sorting hat looks like when it's naked. You know what this one looks like? It looks like a French beret trying to steal some bok choy. It's the kite your dentist brings to the park. It's like if a hand reached up out of a clogged toilet. It's what a camping tent looks like when you let the kids set it up.
True.
It's an off-brand diva cup.
Oh
If
my
Cupid's bow was an
God. Oh my God.
Good. That's good.
Off-brand Diva Cup is horrendous.
Right, he's cooking
Nasty
actually.
work.
If Cupid's bow was an automatic, it's the walk of shame after a ball gown had a fun night out with a paper shredder.
Nice.
It's a commemorative Stonehenge hat. Or a spike brero.
Spike
A
Bro's
rogue
hot.
placenta. If an acorn were a root vegetable. Or it's a gummy bear. If they were all shaped like butt plugs. Then your ball stretchers go up to 11.
Wow.
I love it, man. I love it. Yeah.
There was nothing dirty. Well, I mean, not about them. Not about them.
The gummy bear butt plug was kind of
But
graphic.
I just meant we didn't. There was nothing about shit, and there's nothing about their methods of reproduction.
He did just mention the mouth anus several times.
I mean,
but
they
it's
have
just
a mouth. They have a mouth anus. What do you want them to do? Not talk about the mouth anus?
You also spew shit out of your mouth.
Ah.
So what's the difference?
Ah. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave your reaction requests and your recommendations down in the comments below. Make sure you check out the other videos. We have, a couple Daily Dose videos, Casual Geographic, some other stuff.
I blacked out something about elephants killing
Binge watch
people.
our videos. You ain't got shit else to do.
Facts. We'll be here.
Peace out, hope.
Supporting you.
It's getting lit.